welcome to our talk today. We're going to be looking at Mark chapter 14 and the denial of Peter. Let me ask you a question before we start. Have you ever been let down by a close friend? I remember when I was due to get married, I had chosen a best man and all excited, all the wedding plans were going well. And then 3 weeks before the actual wedding, my best man phoned me up and told me that he couldn't be my best man anymore. He said that he'd been offered work and he had to take it and he had to earn some money. I was devastated by it because I thought he was a really close friend. We'd obviously made these plans about the wedding. I thought it was a great honour to be asked to be a best man. But at the end of the day, he chose money over our friendship. So I was really let down by it and it hurt a lot. And if you think about films, there's loads of examples of people letting down close friends. If you think about any of the Marvel films, especially Civil War, what are you doing? They're fighting against each other, aren't they? Tony feels let down. Captain America knew all about Bucky killing his father and didn't tell him. And then there's Toy Story 3, isn't it, where Buzz is Lotto takes him and does something to him, and Buzz becomes this kind of back to how he was and horrible to Woody and the gang, and they feel really let down by him. But I wonder, what about you? Have you been let down by a really close friend? Maybe someone said something about you, maybe they told a lie, maybe they gossiped about you, maybe they twisted something that you'd said and you just felt really let down by that close friend. Or maybe they did something that really let you down. Maybe they didn't invite you to a party, maybe they didn't respond to a Snapchat or a text, or maybe, they went out with your girlfriend or boyfriend when you were still going out with them, which let you down completely. And it hurts, doesn't it, when we're let down by people? It really, really hurts. They say, don't they, that you can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends. So when a friend let you down, it tends to hurt a little bit more because we've chosen them in particular. And when they let us down, it kind of reflects on us that we've made a bad choice about them. Well, in our passage today, we're going to see that Jesus is let down by a close friend. So why don't we read Mark chapter 14, verses 26 to 31. And the words should come up on the screen. And when they'd sung a hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives, and Jesus said to them, "You will all fall away, for it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep will be scattered. But after I am raised up, I will go before you to Galilee." Peter said to them, "Even though they all fall away, I will not." Jesus said to him, "Truly I tell you, this very night, before the rooster crows twice, you will deny me 3 times. But he said emphatically, "If I must die with you, I will not deny you." And they all said the same. So this is the lead up into Jesus' death. If you remember the couple of talks we've had so far, he comes into town on a donkey, a colt of a donkey, and it's a celebration. People are cheering and shouting. And then he has a meal with his friends, doesn't he? He gives us that picture of the bread and the wine, of his body being broken, his blood being shed for us. But also in that meal, he identifies who the betrayer is. He knows that Judas is going to betray him. And we've seen through Mark's gospel, Jesus knows a lot of stuff. He predicted his death in Mark 8, 9 and 10, that he would go to Jerusalem, he would suffer, he would die, he would rise again. He knew where the donkey would be. He knew who the disciples would go to get the meal. He knew his betrayer. And now he knows who is going to deny him. And yet, Jesus still chooses to be that person's friend. I wonder if you had the knowledge, that foreknowledge of Jesus, if you knew that that friend was going to let you down in the way that they did, whether you would still be their friend knowing they were going to do it. Well, in this passage, we see that Jesus is still with Peter. And what's more amazing is Jesus actually knows the detail that this denial, this letdown is going to happen. He says, doesn't he? He says, "Listen, it's this night, Peter, that you will deny me 3 times. Before the rooster crows twice, you will deny me 3 times. So he knows the detail. But Peter is adamant, isn't he? In verse 31, Peter says this. He says, "If I must die, I will not deny you." In other words, he's saying, I would rather die than deny knowing you. I wonder if you've ever felt like kind of super pumped about Jesus. I wonder if you've ever thought, I'd do anything for Jesus. Maybe it's been after a Friday night or a Sunday or maybe a weekend away or a time in Keswick. You've kind of just said to the Lord, look, I'm going to do anything for you. I'm going to do whatever I can, and I'm going to live for you. I'm going to tell people about you. I'm all for you, Jesus. And then within a matter of days, weeks, even hours, we've blown it, haven't we? We've denied him and we've crumbled. It's all gone horribly wrong. I wonder if you've ever denied Jesus. Peter's going to deny Jesus, and we'll read about it in a minute, but I wonder if you've ever denied Jesus. I know I have, to my shame. And quite often it can be things like, peer pressure. We're with a group of people and someone says something about Jesus or the church or the Bible or God or wherever, and we have that opportunity to speak, don't we? But we don't. We keep our mouths shut. We don't say anything. In fact, we might even say, I don't believe that anymore. We deny him. So that's one way that we can deny, but we can also deny him in other ways. We can also let Jesus down when we put other things ahead of him. So maybe on a Sunday, instead of going to church, we'd rather do sport. Maybe when we've got Bible study or other things going on, we'd rather get down and do an extra 2 hours of studying, even though it's not going to make a massive amount of difference. Maybe when you hear about this, there's the Monday, Thursday service tonight at St. John's, 7:30 on YouTube. Tomorrow morning there's a Good Friday service at 10 o'clock. There's a children's service. There's Easter Sunday. There's all these great things for you to plug into at this time of year. And you have a chance to kind of, to support Jesus, to learn about Jesus, to tell others about Jesus, to share these links and all those things. Or will you deny him? Will you let him down? Will you go on to other things on YouTube? Will you watch that series on Netflix rather than spending time with your Saviour? Especially, and I don't mean to guilt anyone, but it is Easter week, and if we're going to spend extra time with Jesus, then this week is a good time to do it. But I'll be honest, the main reason that sometimes I stay quiet is I fear other people. I fear their rejection, I fear their ridicule, I fear they may not like me as much. That's crazy, isn't it? Well, let's see what happens to Peter. We're going to read verses 66 to 72 and find out what happens. And as Peter was below in a courtyard, one of the servant girls of the high priest came, and seeing Peter warming himself, she looked at him and said, "You also were the Nazarene Jesus." But he denied it, saying, "I neither know nor understand what you mean." And he went out into the gateway, and a rooster crowed. And the servant girl saw him and began again saying to the bystanders, "This man is one of them." But again he denied it. And after a little while, the bystander again said to Peter, "Certainly you are one of them, for you are a Galilean." And he began to invoke a curse on himself and to swear, "I do not know this man of whom you speak." And immediately the rooster crowed a second time. And Peter remembered how Jesus had said to him, "Before the rooster crows twice, you will deny me 3 times. And he broke down and wept. Now, I told a story at the beginning about a friend of mine who let me down 3 weeks before wedding, said he wasn't going to be my best man. And to my shame, I didn't really forgive him. It took a long while to forgive him. And as a result of that, I'm not in contact with him anymore. I think the last I heard, he moved to Australia. So for me, there wasn't a lot of forgiveness, there wasn't a lot of grace, there wasn't a lot of love from me to him. But have you ever thought about what Jesus does here? It's remarkable. Jesus knows, doesn't he, that this friend is going to let him down. But he still loves him. Peter is one of these great figures in the New Testament. We know that when Jesus comes back from the dead, he's going to take Peter to one side and say, "Peter, do you love me? You know I love you." And it's through Peter that we're told that the church is built. He's one of the great apostles, wrote a couple of letters in the New Testament. So Jesus didn't give up on him, even though he knew Peter was going to let him down big time. Jesus did not give up on him. And that's the thing about Jesus, and that's why we love him so much. We will let him down. I've let him down. I will continue to let him down. You'll let him down. But we know that Jesus will love us still. We know that Jesus' grace covers all our sin. I mentioned earlier about Toy Story 3 when Buzz goes all bad. But you notice there's that wonderful picture. Now, I'm not saying that Woody is Jesus, but there's a picture of Woody being like Jesus. And what do I mean by that? Well, Woody pursues Buzz. He knows what Buzz is truly like, and he won't let that friend go. Even though Buzz has turned against him, even though Buzz is being mean and horrible and denying him and rejecting him, Woody still pursues Buzz. And that's a wonderful picture of what Jesus does with us. Jesus pursues us, even when we deny him. You see, Jesus' love for us is never ending, and it's unbreakable. You see, Peter said, I must die, or I would rather die than deny you. Jesus says, I will die than deny you. That's wonderful, isn't it? And isn't this a love worth knowing? A love that says, I'm your friend, even when you let me down. I wonder if you know this love. I wonder if you've come to Jesus and you've just admitted, listen, Jesus, I've let you down time and time again. I thank you that you forgive me for my sin by dying on a cross. Help that move from head down to heart. I really want that to move me in my heart. I want that to motivate my life. I want it to be the reason that I get up in the morning, the things that I do. I want that joy to fill my heart so I tell others about you, that I put you first in all areas of my life. Because Jesus, I will never find a friend like you. You are the friend who dies for me even when I let you down. Let me say a short prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for the love that Jesus has for us. We're sorry that we do let Jesus down time and time again, but we're so thankful that time and time again he forgives us, that his love is relentless, that his love is unchanging, and that his love is forever. Help us to enjoy that love and to live out of it, I pray. In Jesus' name, amen.